Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the class on coordination chemistry. In this class, we will discuss about magnetism of complexes. Substances were first classified as diamagnetic or paramagnetic by Michael Faraday in 1845. So that was the basic point in magnetism. Of course, I expect all of you know the definition for magnetism. When any substance is placed in an external magnetic field, there is an induced circulation of electrons producing a net magnetic moment aligned in opposition to the applied field. Of course, magnetism results due to the electronic orientations, whether they are single electrons or whether they are paired electrons, that will decide the magnetic moment. When a compound has or when a molecule has all the paired electrons, then that compound, in the presence of a magnetic field, it generates an opposite magnetic field. So that is what is called diamagnetic compound. So in a diamagnetic compound, the magnetic moment generated will oppose the applied magnetic field. Whereas if a compound is having single electrons, then when they are placed in a magnetic field, they develop a magnetic moment which is called paramagnetic moment. So a compound with all paired electrons is diamagnetic in nature, whereas a compound with I request everyone to mute your videos and audios. Yeah, please, all of you, please mute your video as well as keep your video off. Paramagnetism results from the presence of single electrons or unpaired electrons. So paramagnetism is always larger than diamagnetism. Paramagnetism is a permanent molecular magnetic moment that tend to align themselves with an applied magnetic field. So paramagnetic nature is a permanent nature. It is a permanent magnet. Paramagnetic effect decreases in magnitude as the temperature is increased. When we increase the temperature, then dipole arrangements will be affected. Because of that, paramagnetic nature will decrease. So with increase in temperature, paramagnetic effect will decrease, or in reverse case, when we decrease the temperature, paramagnetic nature will increase. We will try to represent these magnetic characters in terms of orientation of dipoles. There are 5 different materials: diamagnetic materials, paramagnetic materials, ferromagnetism, ferrimagnetism, and finally antiferromagnetism. We will try to represent these magnetic characters using magnetic dipoles. Magnetic dipoles or magnetic poles. In a diamagnetic material, all these magnetic dipoles will be arranged in pairs, will be arranged in pairs. So one magnetic dipole, if it is aligned in clockwise direction, if it is in upwards, another will be downward, so that the resultant effect, resultant magnetism will be zero. Resultant magnetism will be zero. So all the magnetic dipoles in a diamagnetic material will exist in pairs. So overall magnetic moment is zero. Overall magnetic moment is zero. When this magnetic material, diamagnetic material is placed inside a magnetic field, that means when we take this nearer to a permanent magnet, then these dipoles rearrange themselves and they will orient opposite direction to the applied magnetic field. Now, what is paramagnetic material? Here, in a paramagnetic material, all the magnetic dipoles are not arranged properly, they are randomly oriented. They are randomly oriented, but their resultant magnetic moment is non-zero. For a diamagnetic material, it is zero, but for a paramagnetic material, it is non-zero. That means it will have some magnetic character. But when this material is placed in a magnetic field, then all the dipoles will rearrange in a direction which is parallel to the applied field. For example, if we place a magnetic field nearer to this material which is in this direction, this is applied magnetic field, then what happens, all these magnetic dipoles will arrange upwards. All the magnetic dipoles will arrange upwards. So that is why paramagnetic materials are strong magnetic materials. So they will align in the same direction of applied magnetic field. Now, what is ferromagnetic materials? In ferromagnetic materials, all the dipoles are arranged in one direction. All the dipoles are arranged in one direction, so that the resultant magnetic moment is very, very high. The resultant magnetic moment is very, very high. So that is why we say ferromagnetic materials are very, very strong materials. Now, what is ferrimagnetic materials? In a ferrimagnetic material, all the magnetic dipoles are arranged in one direction, but the difference is they will have small opposite dipoles. They are not exactly equal, remember. This is a large dipole, whereas the opposite dipole is small. So, what is a ferromagnetic material? A magnetic material which is having all the dipoles arranged in one direction and smaller dipoles arranged in opposite direction. Arranged in opposite direction. These are also strong magnetic materials like ferromagnetic. Ferromagnetic materials will possess very high magnetic moment, or what we say magnetic susceptibilities. Then ferrimagnetic materials, then paramagnetic material. Ferro and ferri almost have the same characteristics. Then paramagnetic, then we will have antiferro. What is antiferro? In antiferro, all the dipoles are having equal and opposite dipoles. All the dipoles are having equal and opposite dipoles. Whereas in a diamagnetic material, all the dipoles are electrons, they are paired. But here they are not paired. These magnetic dipoles are not paired. But if one magnetic dipoles, some magnetic dipoles are arranged in towards right side, the same number will be arranged towards left side. So this is antiferromagnetic material. These are purely based on the orientation of dipoles. This may be based on the orientation of electrons. If we have all electron pairs, all electrons paired, then we say it is a diamagnetic material. But if the dipoles are arranged randomly and if they have some net magnetic moment, then it is a paramagnetic material. If all the dipoles are arranged in one direction, that is ferromagnetic material. If all the dipoles are arranged in one direction, but if they have small oppositely oriented dipoles, then it is called ferrimagnetic materials. If all the dipoles are arranged in opposite directions, that means uh, one layer is in right side, one layer is out left side. So it is called as antiferromagnetic material. So this is schematic representation of magnetic dipole arrangements. Take this heading, schematic. Please take the notes along with me. All these magnetic moments can be represented in terms of a graph where the graph is magnetic susceptibility or magnetic moment xi versus temperature. Temperature, as we know, it is always represented in Kelvin scale. Now, paramagnetic materials will behave like this. As we have already discussed, the magnetic moment of paramagnetic materials will decrease with increase in temperature. Will decrease with increase in temperature. So these are paramagnetic materials. Now, we know ferromagnetic materials are having highest magnetic moment. So they have highest magnetic moment. With increase in temperature, their magnetic moment may not change because they are very strong magnetic materials. But after some time, they'll start behaving like paramagnetic materials. After some temperature, they will start behaving like paramagnetic materials. So these are ferro. Ferri also behaves in a similar fashion. Ferri materials also behave in a similar fashion. Now, what is antiferro? When we apply temperature to antiferro materials, the dipoles starts orienting in one direction. Because of that, their magnetic moment will start increasing. But after certain temperature, they also start behaving like paramagnetic materials. So these are called antiferro. These are called antiferromagnetic materials. Now look at diamagnetic materials. As I said, diamagnetic materials are having all paired electrons. They don't change their magnetic character with temperature. So diamagnetic materials, magnetic character is always constant. So this is a graphical representation of representing magnetic moment variation with respect to temperature. Now I need to define 2 points. One is Tc, another one is Tn. What is Tc? Tc is Curie temperature. What is Tn? Tn is Néel temperature. Of course, you can expect the definition from this. The temperature where ferromagnetic material starts behaving like a paramagnetic material is called as Curie temperature. Now, what is Néel temperature? Anyone? Anyone? What is Néel temperature?
The temperature where antiferromagnetism behaves like paramagnetism.
Yes, perfect. So it is the temperature at which antiferromaterial starts behaving like a paramagnetic material. Please understand this graph. In competitive exams, directly they will give this graph and they will ask you to identify either TC or TN or particular magnetic material, which graph belongs to para or which graph belongs to dia, like that. Now we will look at calculation of magnetic moment. Please take the notes along with me. We have already discussed about magnetic moment. Spin only magnetic moment. Spin only magnetic moment is given by, magnetic moment is represented by mu. Spin only suffix s is represented by square root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons, where one Bohr magneton is equal to Eh by 4 pi m. Eh by 4 pi m, where all these terms are constant, so you can calculate it, no problem. Now, there are three factors. There are three factors that contribute to magnetic moment. You know, we are saying this is spin only formula, but it is not the complete formula. The complete formula can be obtained by including all these terms. So spin-spin coupling, that means spin of two different electrons when they couple, that will contribute to magnetic moment. At the same time, spin and orbital coupling, electron spin and the orbital when they couple, that also will contribute to magnetic moment. Then coupling between two orbitals, that also will contribute to the magnetic moment. So these three factors will contribute to the overall magnetic moment of a material. So therefore, overall magnetic moment or total magnetic moment mu is calculated using the formula G into square root of J into J plus 1 Bohr magnetons. So this is the complete formula for calculating the magnetic moment. Here J is total angular momentum quantum number. Total angular momentum quantum number, which is given by modulus of L plus S to modulus of L minus S. G is called as Landé splitting factor. Landé splitting factor. G is given by the formula 1 plus J into J plus 1 plus S into S plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 by 2J into J plus 1. So this is the complete magnetic moment formula, and this is the Landé splitting factor value. If spin orbital coupling is negligible, then we can ignore J term. We can ignore J term. Then magnetic moment, resultant magnetic moment is square root of 4s into s plus 1 plus L into L plus 1. That means spin orbit coupling. If we completely neglect the orbital contribution, for example, 3D elements, orbital contribution is very, very less. So in case of 3D elements, we can ignore orbital contribution also. When we ignore orbital contribution, therefore, magnetic moment becomes 4s into s plus 1. Where s is total spin quantum number. L is orbital contribution. L is orbital contribution, that is total angular momentum quantum number. Total angular momentum quantum number. Now if s, what is s? Total spin. Total spin, what is total spin? It depends on the number of paired electrons and unpaired electrons, right? So spin is nothing but n by 2. For a paired electron, s is equal to 0. For an unpaired electron, s is equal to half. So what is the s value? It depends on number of single electrons. Number of single electrons, that is why n by 2. N by 2 plus 1. So when we take this 2 into 2, so 4 will get cancelled. N into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. So this is the spin only formula. This is applicable for 3D elements. For 4D, we need to consider spin orbital coupling. For 5D, we need to consider both spin-spin coupling, spin orbit coupling, and orbital orbital coupling.